Thanks for staying with us. Falls can happen anywhere, but more than half of the falls that occur every year happen in a person's home. So how can you avoid those day-to-day slips and trips? Joining me now is Steve Ryder with AARP to talk about fall-proofing your home and tips for fall prevention around town. Thanks for being here, Steve.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Beth. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Good. So let's start outside the home and talk first about if someone is out and about running errands, doing some shopping, what's some fall prevention tips they should keep in mind?
Well, sure. You know, most of the things I'm going to talk to you about this morning have to do with just common sense and just being aware of your surroundings. When you're out shopping at Walmart or wherever you happen to be at any kind of a store of any sort or restaurant, one of the things that you need to do is look down. Look at the things that can be tripping hazards to you. For example, if you're in a department store, one of the displays may have legs that stick out, and it's real easy to trip and slip and fall on items such as that. If you're going to a grocery store and you're buying your weekly groceries, sometimes spills happen. It could be liquid, it could be solid. Falling and slipping on rice, as an example, is a real common occurrence. But any kind of a liquid that happens to be in a storefront, and also when you're going into the entrance of any building, look for, if it's rainy season, look for water. If it's during the fall, look for leaves. Those things can get really slimy in the rain in the fall. And if it's in winter, look for any kind of ice accumulations that could cause you to trip. So again, it's just being aware of your surroundings and making sure that you know that there's a hazard there and avoiding it.
And you mentioned the winter, and so we know snow and ice can be tricky. Are there specific fall prevention tips for the colder months?
Yeah, there's some, again, it's about observance. One of the most common slip and trip hazards that happen to folks is from their cars. In fact, this happened to me two winters ago, is when you step out of your car, it's really common to actually slip underneath as you're stepping out, to slip underneath your car, and a lot of people will break their legs by doing so. What happens is that as you're driving in your auto, your feet are warm. So the soles of your shoes will become warm, and then if you stand on that ice or that snow, it just creates a non-friction zone that is really hazardous. So my advice to people is to either wear the slip-on chains that are available at almost any store during winter months when it's really icy in particular, or carry some cat litter. Some people like to use sand, but I prefer to use cat litter. Use the biodegradable stuff, of course, and keep it, alongside of you someplace in your car where it's easy to reach. And just grab a handful of it, spread it along the ground when you're ready to step out of your car, and that will give you a good, solid base for stepping out of your vehicle.
That's a great tip and one that I had not heard before. So cat litter, it's good for more than one thing.
Just don't use the used stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Could get ugly.
Good tip there too. So I mentioned earlier that falls are most common in your home. Can we talk about some tips for fall proofing a person's house?
Sure. In the home, the thing is that we're all comfortable in our home, so we tend to just skate around and just go about our daily lives without even really paying attention. But things can happen in the home just as they can anyplace else. I don't know about you, but there have been a lot of times where I've just basically slipped on or tripped on nothing. Where I've been walking around and all of a sudden I'm just kind of head over heels, and what happened? And there was really nothing there, but there usually is something that caused that. And in my particular case, it's wearing sandals. So if I have nothing covering my toe, it's really easy for me to trip on something. So when you walk around the home, what I would advise if you ever have any kind of issues with slipping and tripping is never wear sandals, never wear thongs, because I know probably each one of your viewers has a story about where they've wore those and they've slipped and tripped on basically nothing. But there are other issues in your home. Keep it well lit. Make sure that you're aware of your surroundings, especially at night. A person, as they age in particular, can become very disoriented. In fact, it happened to my mother. About 5 years ago, my mother became disoriented at home, and she actually fell down about 15 stairs into our basement, which is concrete. She fractured her hip. Luckily, she had a life alert or some kind of a mechanism on that alerted the fire department, and they were able to come over and break down her door and bring her to the hospital for treatment, but it could have been tragic. Mm-hmm. My sister visited every day, but it would have been probably 10 hours before anybody found her. Oh, gosh. So the lesson there is, if she would have had some kind of a barrier on that door leading down to the stairs, probably wouldn't have happened. But some other common trips and slips in the home include the bathroom, which is probably the number one area that people slip and trip. So in your bathroom, make sure that you have something to absorb any of the water that comes from your shower or your tub. Make sure that you have handholds, especially getting into a tub shower combination, because that can, when you're on one foot, that can be disastrous. So make sure you have something to brace yourself with. And also in the tub itself, if you get any kind of oil or anything in a bathtub, it becomes an ice rink. So make sure that you have some kind of an adhesive attachment in the tub that will help from slipping as you're taking your shower or your bath.
Okay, great. Great tips, Steve. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Your time.
It's my pleasure.
That concludes our show this week. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you are able to take the information you've learned today and talk with your doctor, your pharmacist, or make some changes around your home so you don't fall and get hurt. Until next week, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.